Hello, friends! Seeing as the world is ending, and we're all stuck at home for the next 18 months, I figured I would share with you one of my favorite ways to kill 45 minutes a day, and that's my side split stretching routine. I've been doing this routine for about 4 months now. I started in December. Since then, I've seen massive improvement in my side split. It's almost there. I think I've got another month or two before I'm fully 180'd out. But I figured now is the time to share. So there are 4, sometimes 5 stretches in this routine. Almost all of them I stole from various Tom Merrick videos. Please check out his channel. It's the Bodyweight Warrior. And these are the ones that I found worked for my body the best, particularly when it came to developing my side split. So the first one, you're all probably familiar with, is just the butterfly. My butterfly's pretty good, so I mostly just do this to warm up. If you can't get your knees all the way down to the ground, your first goal should be getting your knees all the way down to the ground. Once you have that, your goal should be pulling your feet in as tight to your body as you can. Once you have that in, and like your feet can't get any closer to your thighs, you can start leaning forward to add extra stretch. I don't do this for a particular number of sets. I just kind of do this as a warm-up until I can get nice solid thigh on ground contact, at which point my butterfly is kind of maxed out. So the next exercise, and the first like real exercise in this set, are frog dogs. The frog dog is a mixture of 2 stretches, which is a PNF frog and the peeing dog stretch. So the peeing dog, this is stolen straight from Tom Merrick. I'm going to get into kind of a plank position or on my hands and knees, and then I'm going to take one leg, stick it out, and raise it up as high as I can get. I'm trying to keep my foot forward, and I'm trying to work this muscle right here. And I'll typically hold this leg out for about 20 seconds. Typically the first 10, I'll just hold it stiff. The second 10, I'll kind of like push it upward a little bit. And then do the same whoop on the other side, holding for 10, pushing for 10. And I'm gonna syncopate that with frogs. And I apologize, this one is a mildly obscene stretch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread my knees out. Bop, 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 bop. I'm going to do this sideways so y'all can see. Bop, 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 bop. As wide as I can. And then I'm going to bounce my hips for 10. This is the obscene part. I apologize. And then I'm going to squeeze my knees into the ground. Like I'm trying to crush the earth between them for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to squeeze my hips down. Again, I'm going to use these muscles and push my hips in. I'm going to hold that for 10 seconds. And so after doing 10 of each of my, so 10 bounces, 10 tensing these muscles, 10 tensing these muscles, I'll do another set of dogs, then another set of frogs, and so on and so forth. And so I'll do a total of typically 3 rounds of that. So 3 rounds of frog, 3 rounds of dog, alternating. And typically by the end of that, I can get my thighs almost completely pancaked out. The next exercise, and by far the hardest and most unpleasant of the set, is the isometric split. So the isometric split, I'm going to just widen my feet, and I'm going to keep sliding and keep sliding, keep sliding. I'm going to do this until I'm as far down as I can get. I'm keeping my body over my hips, and you're going to feel like a crazy burn in your thighs. Typically, I'll hold this for 6 sets of 20 seconds. And each set, you should find that you're able to get a little bit further and a little bit further. If I understand human anatomy correctly, you're never going to get your isometric split out completely 180 degrees because you will run into your hip socket. Eventually, this bone will grind up against this bone, and they just can't go any further unless you cant your pelvis forward or raise your feet up, at which point it turns into a slightly different stretch. And lastly, the star of this show is the PNF side split. This is going to be similar to the frog dogs, or at least the frog portion of the frog dog, in that we're going to alternate between bouncing, squeezing on the inside, and squeezing on the outside. So I'm going to put my hands down in front of me, pop my feet out as far as they can go, and typically I'm going to have to like walk back and shuffle a little bit and like trying to get my legs straightened out. I have a tendency to curl my right leg when I do this. But once I feel like I'm good and split, I am going to do 10 bounces. Again, moderately obscene. I apologize. And then contract these muscles like I'm trying to pinch the ground with my feet. Do that for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to contract these muscles, which you should find pushes your split down, for another 10 seconds. And I am going to do 10 sets of those, which is probably more than is strictly necessary. I find this whole routine usually takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. I do it at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. That is also probably more than strictly necessary. But I'm also living in a nearly abandoned youth hostel in a small town under quarantine, so there's not a whole lot for me to do. The other thing that I would recommend is it is always best to do these like power stretching routines after a workout. You want to do it when your body is as loose and warm as possible, and you'll get much better results. Trying to do this like early in the morning, it's gonna suck. You're gonna like have everything's gonna be tight. But if you do this later in the day and after a big workout, you'll find your whole body just bends more and moves further. So yeah, that is my sort of combined PNF aggro side split routine. Thank you so much. Good luck stretching, and here's hoping that there's still a world in 12 months.